I don't know if you guys have been following everything that's been happening with the XFL up until this point, but the XFL actually was getting a lot of heat for not suspending their operations, considering the fact that there has been some controversy with a member of the Seattle XFL team getting caught with a case of the illness that's going around. And the entire time, people were talking about the fact that Vince McMahon apparently wasn't a huge believer in illness. Vince McMahon was just trying to, make the most of this opportunity of his sport being the only sport that's going to be running during a time where all other sports have suspended their operations. And eventually it got to the point where Vince McMahon decided, okay, we now officially are going to suspend the XFL's operations until things get a little bit easier, until things cool down a little bit. Now, what sucks about this whole situation, and I made a video about this on my basketball channel, The Fly Mike, is we're in a situation where there's absolutely no sports now. There is absolutely no sports at all whatsoever for us to enjoy until further notice. The NBA has suspended its operations. The NCAA March Madness basketball tournament for both the women's and the men's have been canceled. The MLB season for at least spring training and the beginning of the season has been suspended. The rest of the NCAA season has also been suspended. And now we're just sitting here literally glued to our TV screens or our computer screens waiting for an update. Now, at first I really wouldn't have blamed Vince McMahon for resuming the XFL season, because you have to bear in mind, this is a startup football league. If I understand that the case that is going on right now is very severe, and I understand this could sound a little bit greedy, but if you're a startup football league, you want as many eyeballs on your product as possible. When there's no other sports to watch except the XFL, that's obviously going to drive a lot more fan traffic or a lot more potential traffic towards XFL games. So I don't blame Vince McMahon for taking this long to make this decision. I feel like it wasn't his decision in the end because, again, he apparently doesn't really care so much about illnesses and sicknesses. Supposedly, apparently, this isn't like factual information. This is just what I'm hearing on Twitter. Now, the latest thing that people are pressing Vince McMahon for is whether he's going to cancel Wrestlemania, which is without a doubt, his biggest money-making event of the entire year. Will Vince McMahon cancel Wrestlemania, or is he going to stand pat? Because so far, according to what we are being told, and this is according to ESPN, the WWE is planning to still hold WrestleMania 36, and they're moving forward with the April 5th event at Raymond James Stadium, despite the current outbreak, but they are going to monitor the situation, which means WrestleMania, which is the Super Bowl of wrestling, is going to still be held place. Could you think of all the people that are going to be in Raymond James Stadium if they already have WrestleMania tickets? You're not going to be able to get a refund for WrestleMania tickets, and you probably purchased them a while ago. And they're expensive freaking tickets. It's WrestleMania, okay? So think of it this way. You're pretty much in this scenario where no one's going to want to buy the tickets off of you. The tickets were an extremely expensive value, even up to like 2 weeks ago. Now that you're locked in, you probably won't be able to get your money back. If Vince McMahon is willing to go forward with the event, he's not going to be okay with fans asking for their money back during a time where this outbreak is occurring. And now fans are in a very strange situation because they get to choose between going out during a very dangerous time to go out with the illness going around and everything, or losing thousands of dollars in a very tough economic climate. And yeah, the economy is going, I don't know if you guys are invested in the stock market. If you are and you haven't looked at your portfolio, don't look at your portfolio. But I thought I'd have to bring you guys this update because Vince McMahon has a lot to do with what we do on this channel. He has a lot to do with the XFL. And it's great that he decided to suspend the XFL, but I think it's very ironic that he's still going forward with what is considered to be the Super Bowl of football events with WrestleMania. Now, Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Vince McMahon is making the right decision, or do you think the XFL should continue to go on? And bear in mind, there's not that many teams in the XFL. It's the smallest league that we have, but there's still some there's still some employee that got infected with the disease. And as a result, I'm assuming this is why Vince McMahon eventually got pressure from other people and other sources to suspend the XFL. But at the same time, it's not consistent with his behavior at all. You know, the fact that he's still planning on holding WrestleMania 36 is a clear indication that Vince McMahon is still not really sold on this entire situation, with this disease spreading and the entire world population beginning to panic and even some people beginning to quarantine. It just goes to show that he's not exactly sold with it. So it's very interesting. I guess we'll have to hold off to see whether WrestleMania is going to be canceled. I guess we're also going to have to wait to see whether pro wrestling is going to continue to go on. And I apologize, this is a football channel. We don't really discuss pro wrestling at this level on this channel. But I figured with what's going on with the XFL and how Vince McMahon is the owner of the XFL and the WWE, I figured we have to do our diligence and discuss what's going on here. Now, what's inconsistent about this also is states are restricting crowds to 250 people, plus player, coaches, and staff safety. And so Vince McMahon and Oliver Luck really didn't have a choice but to suspend the XFL, but that's still inconsistent with what we're hearing about WrestleMania. All I could say is this is a nightmare scenario for startup football once again. Last year we saw what happened with the AAF. They didn't get the funding that they needed in order to resume to continue their operations. They weren't really organized with how they handled things, and as a result the league folded midway into the season despite looking very, very promising. They included great innovations in football like a sky judge to ensure that plays would be officiated fairly, and after that, just after a few weeks, they were gone. And then now you have the XFL, who also started out very promisingly. Of course, ratings went down recently, but they started out very, very promising. And then as things are continuing to surge forward, you of course have the XFL that has to suspend its inaugural season indefinitely until we get an update on the situation at hand. So this is not, I think if there's any league that could potentially be crippled by our current situation, it's not going to be the NBA. It's not going to be the MLB. They've been around for a while. It's going to be the XFL. It's going to be the startup football league. And it's a shame. I really hope that this doesn't resolve in the XFL potentially needing to fold, because this is not what you want. You want to continue to build upon the momentum you're establishing on a week-by-week basis. You don't want any outlier or something that could come and ruin what you have going for you. And it's unfortunate because it appears as if the XFL is dealing with that exact situation due to an extenuating circumstance which is completely out of their control. So I cannot blame Vince McMahon for trying to hang in there with Oliver Luck and try to potentially finish the XFL season, because you have to understand that this is a huge investment for a venture that typically fails. There's only been maybe one startup football league that, other than the, back in the 50s when the AFL and the NFL merged to form the AFL and the NFL merged. But other than that, I could only think of the CFL as a proper startup football league that has been able to acquire some great success. And they've even had some integrations with Madden, and they've done a great job. However, the XFL is trying to do something completely different. They're trying to be the first American startup football league that doesn't plan on merging with the NFL. They're not trying to go head to head with the NFL. Rather, they're trying to provide some sort of developmental league for the NFL and something for us to watch in the springtime that is still football. And for the most part, historically, these ventures always fail, including the original XFL. And whenever you have to suspend operations in the middle of your season, it's just not good, especially when there's a bunch of people at home with nothing to do. We're all bored out of our minds in our houses. Some of us cannot go to our jobs, or some of us can't even report on anything because there's no news happening, because in my case, I make sports content for a living, and there's nothing new coming out for me to make sports content on. So it's a very tough situation. hopefully we get through this together as a society. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I figured it was my duty as a NFL news channel to bring you guys this update. Aside from that, guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you're new. I'll try my best to continue to bring you guys content and bring you guys updates. I'm your boy Mikerophone, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.